Hey, another new comic book day came and went, and I have a big stack of books. Been busy, so it's going to be this weekend when I'm posting my video. Hey, this is James for Read More Comics. Thank you for tuning in. As I shared, it was a busy week, a lot of stuff going on at work and home. We're getting towards the holidays, and so I didn't stop at my LCS until Friday to pick up my books. I have a stack of books to share, so why don't we dive in? So to begin with, and this is in alphabetical order because that's how my LCS organizes them when they get their pull lists together. First up, we have Aquaman, issue number 11. This is a pretty awesome cover. This is by Gleb Melenkov. Seen his work before. Check that out. I think that's Dark Side up here, but I'm not sure. So DCKO tie-in. I have not gotten to this tie-in yet, though I have, what is it, the Justice League. I want to say it's Alpha or something like that. It's the intro book to this. So I still have that to check out. The first arc on this new Aquaman run has been really good, and I think it would be an entry point for anybody looking to get into this type. DC's kind of floundered on that in the past, and I'm going to be honest, it's other than Jeff Johns until recently, I don't think anybody had the investment into it. I think that's a big part of it. So, though if you look, this is a total tangent. If you look at the history of Aquaman as a title, there are large gaps in his publication runs. Next up, we have Batman. This is volume 3, issue 162. I have been pulling the Gabriel Del Otto connecting covers for this. This is, I think, Hush Part 5. I think we have one more issue left. Check that out. So you can't see it here, but imagine there are, what is it, 3 or 4 other issues going this way. There's going to be one issue going here, and it just kind of shows this, I think it's set in a cemetery, but you get a look at Batman and some of his allies and his rogues gallery. I've noticed a change in Del Otto's style lately, and my take on it has been that he has been kind of experimenting with a different format. If you look at this, you can actually see it looks like this was done in oils or something like that. Like this is not a digital a digital piece. Not that digital isn't okay, but it's very cool. And Del Otto is one of my favorite artists. We have Batman and Robin issue number 27. This is the A cover right here. So it appears we're going to have a visit by the Man of Steel and his son, John Kent, who are friends with Damian Wayne. I'm a couple issues behind on the current arc. What I've heard, Batman and Robin are on the run. Okay. So looking forward to reading this. The cover is really cool, and I've been kind of moving towards getting A covers. What I've noticed is two things. One, with the way distribution is now, it's just easier to sub the A covers. My LCS Buy Me Toys uses Comics Hub, and this is not my LCS. This is the app they're using. They don't let you, the app does not let you sub anything but A covers. And so that's part of it. But I've also noticed when we're looking at long-term value, it seems to be A covers that maintain it. Ratio covers are kind of a flash in the pan. Sometimes variant covers. The thing that get me, and I don't think it'll be an issue here, is like how the Absolute books on DC side, considering any of the variant covers also has the A cover, doesn't seem to matter. We have Conan the Barbarian by Titan Comics. This is the Gerardo Zaffino. It has kind of a Frank Frazetta vibe to it. This is issue number 26. What do you think about that? Conan the Barbarian, if you have ever wanted to get into Conan, the current run by Titan Comics is just incredible. I highly recommend checking this out. Next up we have Fantastic Four issue number 11 by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. This is the facsimile edition. I really dig that Marvel has been going through this early run of Fantastic Four books and just printing them out as facsimiles. This is a title that I probably would never hunt for. And let me rephrase that. This is a title that in these numbers down in sub 100s, I would never look for. It's outside my comic book budget. So it's pretty cool to have this. Speaking of Fantastic Four, we have Fantastic Four issue number 5. This is the current run by Ryan North and Humberto Ramos. So a Black Cat making a visit in this issue. Ryan North's run has been a series of one-shots. So any single issue is a standalone story. So you can jump in wherever you want. They restarted the volume numbering as a result of the One World Under Doom event, which I think is supposed to be wrapping up this week. I have not read the last 5 issues of this title, but I've been pulling it because it is probably Marvel's best book right now. Highly recommend Ryan North's run on it. If you're looking at getting into Fantastic Four, this is the volume to do it in. In fact, I'd go back to the prior volume, start with issue number 1, or get the trades. If you have a half-price books or other dollar bin access, that's the wrong word, other secondary market access, that's the word I'm looking for. Check this out. This is probably flying under a lot of people's radar, but it's a really good title. And I think it says a lot that Marvel is letting him have a really long run on it. So solid work, both story and art. We have a one-shot. So this is another Fantastic Four book. This is Gargoyles versus Fantastic Four. This is by Dynamite and Marvel Comics. This is the Nicoletta, I'm drawing a blank on the artist's name, so I'm going to look it up in the background. So she did the Fantastic Four fanfare over the summer. This is Nicoletta Baldari. We'll go with that. Look at that. It's a very cool cover, and it's in the similar style as Fantastic Four fanfare was. That was a connecting cover. And that's what attracted my attention to this. For a long time, Marvel was only publishing Fantastic Four in these kind of standalone stories or short 4 or 5 issue stories before the current North run. Well, it's actually started before that with Dan Slott's run. So I love these little kind of one-shot adventures, and the cover is just gorgeous. GI Joe, A Real American Hero by Image under the Skybound imprint. This is issue number 322. Ooh, we got Larry Hama and Paul Pelletier. I like Paul Pelletier's work on Aquaman. This is just there are several books I've noticed the past couple of years. It's just a nostalgia buy, and this has been one of them. This story is definitely complex and adult. Highly recommend GI Joe if you're a Gen Xer like I am. We have Poison Ivy Annual. This is the 2025 annual, and this is by, looks like Seb McKinnon. Originally it had the A cover, which was by Jessica Fong. Gorgeous cover, and I loved the how the trade dress kind of framed it. But then I saw this, and this is just incredible. And you have a very kind of Lady of the Lake vibe coming from this. This has been another kind of under the radar run. The fact that G. Willow Wilson has been able to tell a story that really, I think it was supposed to be a maxi series of 12 issues, and now we're in I think we're approaching 40 issues for Poison Ivy. It's a very anti-hero. It's while there are a lot of cameos for different superheroes and some of Batman's rogues gallery, it's not a cape and cowl superhero type story, which I think is what makes it endearing and has given it the legs it has. This one made some news this week. This is Redcoat by Ghost Machine under the Image banner. Issue number 15 by Jeff Johns, Brian Hitch. This is a cool wraparound cover where you have dialogue on the front and then dialogue on the front back. This made the news because Redcoat's been optioned. I think out of all the titles Ghost Machine's turning out, Redcoat probably is the most approachable to a wider audience. So it'll be cool to see what they do with this. I could see this could be kind of like a television series. But to be honest, a movie probably would have a slightly bigger budget, which this would need for costumes and things like that. The other series I think that would be cool coming out of Ghost Machine would be Hind Street. If they did kind of a Tales from the Crypt, that would be sweet. We have a Marvel book. This is Spider-Man Noir, issue number 2. This is by Larson and Briccardo, and this is the Simone DeMeo cover. I'll be honest, I misread the original solicitation. I thought Simone DeMeo was doing the interiors too, and that hooked me because he is an incredible artist. He did the first, I think, 6 issues of Batman and Robin, which is why I ended up subbing the book. So I'm looking forward to reading this and some of the reviews coming out of this. It's a really good noir kind of pulpy thing. We have Star Wars issue number 7. Looks like the artist has changed. That may be a good thing. They had Phil Noto do the first 6 issues or so. I'm going to do a long form review of that because I don't think his skills, where he does gorgeous cover work, was really playing to his strengths on interiors, which I've heard for some artists is an issue because you just don't have the time to do it. To do it in your same style. And the story for this is kind of all over the place. Anyway, I'm pulling it because it's Star Wars. Another nostalgia buy, we have Thundercats Panthro. This is a one-shot by Ed Brisson. I don't know who the artist is, except it's Acosta. He did the cover. Been really digging Thundercats lately. Now, the next couple books, well, let me put this aside. I have 2 more subs, and then we have a couple books that I ended up picking up for other reasons at Buy Me Toys. So we got Savage Sword of Conan. This is the Liam Sharp story. If you've been on social media, he has been posting images of his work on here. So I've really been looking forward to this. This is the A cover by Alex Hurley. And then I have a hardback. This is Adventureman, Volume 4 by Matt Fraction and the Dodsons and Clayton Cowles on lettering. This is an incredible format for the Dodsons art. I have the other 3 volumes in this larger format, just to give you an idea. Okay, here's the comic book. Okay, originally when they published this series through Image, right? Yeah, through Image, they would do it in a normal comic book size, and then in the hardcover it comes out in the extra big size. So this is closer to the size they were actually doing their art in. It is kind of a steampunk pulp noir. No, noir is the wrong word. Steampunk definitely fits. It's a really wild ride, and just to see a married couple's art kind of flourish in this larger format is incredible. They also have some really cool back matter usually in this. So this was $16, and it has 3 issues. That's not bad considering, let's see, this one right here. This was a $7 comic book. So I got a large format hardcover gorgeous book for cheaper than 3 of these. So let me see. Next up, and these are kind of the special books coming out of Buy Me Toys this week. Buy Me Toys had an exclusive. This is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Godzilla, which I love the crossover. This is their variant cover right here. Check that out. And the artist is known for doing pinball machines, I think. Zombie Yeti. So there's the front. Here's the back. Buy Me Toys logo right there. And it's a one-shot. So I kind of dug that because, one, I love supporting my LCS anytime I can. So when they come up with something cool like this, I'm going to pick it up. And I'm not committing to a long-term comic. I will, like the Poison Ivy book I shared earlier, I got that because they had the Teams variant cover right around COVID. So I picked that up, loved the story, kept running with it. Picked up this just to support my LCS, and I'm a huge, I love Godzilla. So there we go. They also, a couple weeks back, last week before, I don't remember, I'm going to say 2 weeks ago, they had their 29th anniversary, and they had a raffle. You know, you came in, you got a cookie. They always do cookies. They like cookies. You put your name on a little slip of paper, and they drew your name on a hat. And they had some really cool stuff. No means am I looking a gift horse in the mouth. There were a couple other things, though. I'm envious what they got. So this is Hyde Street, issue number 1. This is the A cover, which I don't have. I ended up getting a variant cover, but it's signed by Jeff Johns right up there. It's a cool place to sign. I am not critical of Jeff Johns' Sharpie selection, but I think like a silver Sharpie would have popped. And he could have signed it over here. That would have been cool. Or gold. That would have been cool. Anyway, so got this for free. Pretty jazzed about that. So that's all my stuff for Buy Me Toys. I had to stop at Half Price Books. There was a book that just came out for my wife, and I dug through their back issue bins. And I try to do that every couple weeks because they've been getting new stock. You know, things are rotating around. And while there's some changes in how they're presenting books, because they're not bagging and boarding everything anymore, is what it is. There were a couple books I picked up that I wanted. The first is Red Sonja issue number 3. This is from the Torrin Groomback run that just finished up earlier in the year. Anyway, one of the variant artists was Bjorn Behrens, who honestly, if he could do the internals like this, it elevated Red Sonja to a whole new level of realism and just kind of grittiness. There was a visceral quality to it. So I just have one more issue. I want like the whole volume run in his covers. And there was a variant, I think it was a ratio variant for issue number 1. So that's all I'm missing. I'll have to probably pick that up off of eBay or something. Anyway, this is issue number 3. And this was actually a fun run on Red Sonja. And then, as I was just kind of flipping through, and there are certain areas of the alphabet, because it's all alphabetized in that section, that I go through. I look at Aquaman, so I go through the A's. I look Fantastic Four. I stopped looking at Captain America, but I kind of flipped through it. I look for Conan. Which other ones? Silver Surfer. X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, especially Volume 1 stuff. But I happened to just be flipping through the queues, and there were only a couple books, but they had the question, and this is, I think this is Volume 1. This is by Denny O'Neil. And so low-key, in CLZ, it's on my hunt list. So I'm not, like, actively gunning for it, but I love the question character from Justice League Unlimited. The animated series. So we got issue number 2. And then we have issue number 3. And then issue number 4. So, nice to add a couple more books. Thank you for listening to me ramble on. Please do like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Is there something you saw that you also pulled or piqued your interest? Love to hear your take on even some of these books here that I picked up at Half Price Books. Thanks again. And don't forget, life is a lot better because we can read more comics.